Welcome back to my KEEPUP channel. French star halts Eurovision rehearsal in Israel protest as Ireland's Bambie thug pulls out of flag parade. Dutch rapper Joost Klein is axed amid police probe and Norwegian juror quits and 15,000 march in furious protest. The Eurovision Song Contest has been left in turmoil after a raft of major crises unraveled just hours before the grand final is due to start. Ireland's entry Bambie thug missed their final dress rehearsal after they said a situation required urgent attention from the European Broadcasting Union, EBU, who are organizing the event. It came just hours after it was revealed Dutch contender Joost Klein has been axed from the contest after being quizzed by police over an incident involving a female member of the production crew. And France's entry Slimane has interrupted his own performance to say the contest should be united by music, yes, but for love, for peace, to the rapturous cheers of the audience. Eurovision has since confirmed that they knew he wanted to speak during his act, saying he wanted to send a message of love, podcast The Eurotrip has reported. Meanwhile, outside the venue 15,000 pro-Palestine protesters gathered in Malmö, demanding Israeli contestant Eden Golan be kicked out of the final. The singer defiantly walked on stage waving an Israeli flag behind her for her final dress rehearsal, as she stood up against the hate she has been pelted with throughout the competition. Marina Say of Greece and Nemo of Switzerland also missed the flag parade the day after Say pretended to fall asleep as Golan was speaking. On their Instagram story, Bambie thug wrote, "Dear Kevin, there was a situation while we were waiting to go to stage for the flag parade rehearsal, which I felt needed urgent attention from the EBU. The EBU have taken this matter seriously, and we have been in a discussion about what action needs to be taken. This means I have missed my dress rehearsal. I am really sorry to the fans that have come to see me. I hope to see you on the stage tonight." A spokesperson for the European Broadcasting Union said, Bambie thug did not perform in dress rehearsal 3 and the footage of their performance in dress rehearsal 2 was used in its place. They missed the dress rehearsal due to a situation that is currently being discussed with the EBU and song contest organizers. We hope that this will be resolved shortly and Bambie thug will appear in the grand final show as planned. Irish broadcaster RTE has reported that the singer called on organizers to address commentary made on Israeli television before their performance in Tuesday's semi-final. This is not believed to be related to the situation Bambie has described in their social media post. They told the publication, "I'm angry with other teams breaching their rules of the EBU and still being allowed in. So there's definitely a war drum sounding in my heart to push the performance even more than I have done before." Bambie has been critical of Israel competing in the contest and has called for a ceasefire in the Middle East. The official page of the Netherlands Song Festival, which sends acts to Eurovision, said it is shocked by Joost Klein being cut from Eurovision and finds the decision disproportionate. Entering with the song Europapa, a tribute to his late parents, the 26-year-old rapper and singer from the Netherlands had qualified for the grand final on Thursday evening. But a spokeswoman for the Swedish police authority said, a man is suspected of unlawful threats. The crime is said to have been committed at Malmö Arena on Thursday evening. The man is questioned by the police, but not detained. The plaintiff is an employee at Eurovision. The police have taken all essential investigative measures and questioned the suspect, plaintiff and witnesses. The investigation has been completed by the police. The case follows the normal legal process. The police have used faster prosecution and the case will now go to the prosecutor within a few weeks. His participation was already in doubt after he failed to perform at 2 dress rehearsals on Friday, with Swedish police later announcing it was investigating the singer. But Netherlands fans will still be able to vote in the contest, despite their entrant being disqualified. France's entry Slimane has also brought drama to the Eurovision stage after he halted his own performance to say the contest should be united by music, yes, but for love, for peace, to the rapturous cheers of the audience. Eurovision has since confirmed that they knew he wanted to speak during his act, saying he wanted to send a message of love, podcast The Eurotrip has reported. In a speech whose wording was confirmed to Sky News, he told the crowd, "Everybody, I just need to say something. Sorry, I don't speak English very well, but when I was a child I dreamed about music. I dreamed about this dream, to be a singer and to sing peace, here. Every artist here wants to sing about love and sing about peace. We need to be united by music, yes, but with love for peace. United by music, yes, but with love for peace. Thank you so much. Thank you, Europe. There is already a heavy police presence as thousands of pro-Palestine protesters descended on the Swedish city to call for Golan to be expelled from the competition. Golan has become a lightning rod for criticism from protesters who have demanded she be excluded from the competition, while others have called for a boycott of the famous song contest and a ceasefire in the 7-month war in Gaza. Demonstrators waved Palestine flags and shouted "Stop the genocide" and "No to Eurovision genocide," while others held up photographs of children killed in Gaza. One protester was dressed as a Hamas fighter in combat fatigue, but Swedish police refused to take any action as they looked on. With tensions running high in the city, it has emerged that Israel's entrant Eden Golan is being guarded by armed officers from Sweden's security service and Shin Bet, Israel's security agency. The officers accompanied her into the Malmö arena, where tonight's final takes place, and have also been with her in the hotel, where she is staying with other members of Israel's Eurovision delegation. Around 5,000 protesters assembled in a central square in Malmö, with around 100 police on duty for the Stop Israel demonstration. The 20-year-old contestant has also been preparing for a fiery reception herself as she was filmed rehearsing her power ballad Hurricane, while other members of her team tried to throw her off with loud boos and pro-Palestinian chants. The European Broadcasting Union, EBU, announced on Saturday that Klein would no longer be competing just hours before the final is set to take place. A statement from the EBU said, "The Dutch artist Joost Klein will not be competing in the grand final of this year's Eurovision Song Contest." Swedish police have investigated a complaint made by a female member of the production crew after an incident following his performance in Thursday night's semi-final. While the legal process takes its course, it would not be appropriate for him to continue in the contest. We would like to make it clear that, contrary to some media reports and social media speculation, this incident did not involve any other performer or delegation member. We maintain a zero-tolerance policy towards inappropriate behavior at our event and are committed to providing a safe and secure working environment for all staff at the contest. In light of this, Joost Klein's behavior towards a team member is deemed in breach of contest rules. The grand final of the 68th Eurovision Song Contest will now proceed with 25 participating songs. Dutch broadcaster Ratro's has said that it found Klein's disqualification from the contest disproportionate. In a statement on X, formerly Twitter, the Netherlands delegation's official page Songfestival said, "We have taken note of the disqualification by the EBU. Ratro's finds the disqualification disproportionate and is shocked by the decision. We deeply regret this and will come back to this later." The Dutch singer was one of the bookies' favorites to win the contest with his playful pop-rap song Europapa, which mixes tunes of pop with happy hardcore and was described by one critic as being so bad it will put you off music forever. Klein, who lost his parents at a young age, said the song is about an orphan who travels around Europe trying to find himself, as his father taught him to believe in a Europe without borders. Armed police officers have been stationed outside of the Clarion Hotel in Malmö, where contestants taking part in tonight's finale have been staying during the competition. Singers have already been seen exiting the hotel, surrounded by officers and journalists as they head to the contest venue in the heart of the city where they will later perform in front of thousands of viewers across the globe. It comes as protesters will again take to the streets in Sweden's third-largest city, which has a large Muslim population, later today to show their outrage over the decision to allow Golan to take part in the famous song contest. It will be the second protest to take place this week after as many as 5,000 people took to the city's streets on Thursday. During the demonstrations, smoke canisters in the colors of the Palestinian flag were set off and protesters carried signs displaying images of Gaza civilians who have been injured amid the Hamas-Israel conflict. Other banners displayed messages, including "Welcome to Genocide Song Contest" and "Stop using Eurovision to whitewash Israeli crimes." At one point, the pro-Palestinian demonstrators were told to go back by police and, following shouts of "Free Palestine," returned to the main gathering. There was also a banner done in the style of Eurovision with the words genocide on it, an accusation vigorously denied by Israel amid the country's war with Hamas, sparked by the terror group's October 7 attack last year. The Hamas attack saw some 1,200 people in Israel killed and around 250 kidnapped by gunmen and taken back into Gaza. Since then, Israeli attacks on the coastal territory have resulted in over 34,000 deaths and a humanitarian catastrophe. As a result of the protests, Israel's national security agency Shin Bet ordered Golan to stay in her hotel room ahead of her semi-final performance, which saw her qualify for tonight's final. Protesters argue that Israel should not be allowed to take part amid a war that has killed almost 35,000 Palestinians. I don't think they should be a part of it at all because they are committing crimes against humanity, said local resident Lorenzo Mayer, who attended a demonstration on Thursday. During Golan's rehearsals on Wednesday of her song Hurricane, which was reworked from an early track October Rain, thought to be a reference to the attack by Hamas, she was booed and there were reportedly shouts of "Free Palestine." One person wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, "The atmosphere inside the arena was horrible. You could feel the tension. Shouts of Free Palestine in the quiet parts. Booing audible in places. People arguing in the standing section." Another person, who posted a video of boos raining down on the singer, added, "The atmosphere was so uncomfortable." Denmark, Finland, Norway, and even host country Sweden have repeatedly called for Israel to be banned from the contest altogether. And in Belgium, 2 ministers demanded that the Jewish state be treated the same as Russia, which has been barred since 2022 following its invasion of Ukraine. Golan, who was born in Israel but grew up in Russia, has faced death threats ahead of her performances at the Malmö Arena, while even her fellow contestants have been accused of bullying her during a press conference earlier this week. Greek singer Marina Sai caused a stir after she was seen dramatically yawning and pretending to fall asleep while Eden was speaking to the press during a panel event. Sai can be seen with her head slumped on her hand, looking towards the crowd before closing her eyes and pretending to yawn. She then puts her head in her arms and lays her head on the table in an apparent show of boredom while Golan continues to talk. Meanwhile, Ireland's entry Bambie Thug, 31, revealed they cried with their team after discovering Israel had qualified for the grand finale. But the Israeli singer has remained defiant in the build-up to the final and says she hopes her performance will help to unite people. "I won't let anything break me," she told Mail Online in an interview this week. "I wouldn't say I'm worried. I'm prepared." Speaking to Reuters, she said, "It's a super important moment for us, especially this year. I feel honored to have the opportunity to be the voice of my country." Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has also praised 20-year-old Golan for performing despite contending with an ugly wave of anti-Semitism. Tonight's final will see 26 acts, narrowed from 37 entrants by 2 semi-final runoffs, are due to perform 3-minute songs in front of a live audience of thousands and an estimated 180 million viewers around the world. It all makes for a messy climax to an event that draws both adoration and derision with its campy, kitschy ethos and passion for pop. Dean Violetic, an expert on the history of the contest, says that despite this year's divisions, there is no other cultural event which brings Europeans together quite like Eurovision does. Just this moment where everyone is watching the same television show, which is being broadcast live across 37 countries, that's something very special. This year's entries range from emotional to eccentric. They include the goofy 1990s nostalgia of Finland's Windows 95 man, who emerges from a giant on-stage egg wearing very little clothing. The favorites include Swiss singer Nemo, who would be the first non-binary Eurovision winner if their operatic song, The Code, tops the voting, and Croatia's Baby Lasagna. His song Rim Tim Taj Dim is a rollicking rock number that tackles the issue of young Croatians leaving the country in search of a better life. Chart-topping pop star Ollie Alexander will be flying the flag for Britain in this year's Eurovision Song Contest this weekend, despite describing himself as ambivalent about the Union Jack. The 33-year-old is hoping to become the UK's first Eurovision winner since Katrina and the Waves in 1997, after overcoming his ordeal of being bullied at school to find fame and success as both a singer and an actor. But he is apparently feeling the pressure to nail his performance after the singer cancelled an interview last night so he could rehearse. An email sent from the organizers of the show on Friday read, "Please note that the Big Five and Sweden Media Conference originally scheduled for 18.30, 5:30 p.m. British Summer Time, has been cancelled because all artists want to focus on rehearsals. Violetic says that despite the contest's reputation for disposable bubblegum pop, Eurovision often tackles political and social issues such as feminism, European integration, gender identity. And I think they're the very interesting songs to look out for, especially because they're the most highly ranked by the bookies, he said. The competing musicians are feeling the pressure, inundated with messages and abuse on social media, and unable to speak out because of the contest rules. Italy's contestant, Angelina Mango, made a statement by walking into the Eurovision Media Center on Friday and performing John Lennon's Imagine as dozens of journalists gathered around her. Swedish singer Loreen, last year's Eurovision champion and one of only 2 performers to win the contest twice, urged people not to shut down the community of love that is Eurovision. What is happening in the world today and in different places is distorting and traumatizing all of us, she told the Associated Press. What heals trauma? Does trauma heal trauma? Does negativity heal negativity? It doesn't work like that. The only thing that heals trauma for real, this is science, is love. Source: dailymail.co.uk. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.